Excuse my handwriting, I wasn't really feeling like doing this right now, but I had some pretty good ideas. So, this is what remastering looks like. This is often what happens whenever you become fairly confident in what you're thinking, and for some reason you still just lose confidence in it, and it feels like it doesn't matter anymore whether it's right. So a general concept is presented, which is represented by the bigger circle here. It's not fully a circle because it's not connected, but it's represented by the concept of a circle. Now, the concept can be something as existence is always going wrong. Now, somebody says that and they say, no, let's do something else. They say, violence is happening. Violence is always happening. Now, you want to argue with this. You say, no, violence, that isn't how things should be. And so you go in and you say, look, if you say violence is always happening, you accept that as a fact and you make it more possible. We all make choices. If we all choose not to be violent, then violence won't occur. Just because violence has occurred doesn't mean it cannot occur, because the truth was inversed. But because as you go into these and you say all these things that would disprove this concept, which is violence is always going to be happening, it says no, violence is always going to be happening, and then it does this. It pretty much hardens. The concept hardens so that you can't get into it, you can't break it apart, you can't dissect it. And what this does is it suggests that it's going to happen anyway, and there's nothing that you can do about it, even though you had a full logical structure to disprove it. Now here's another thing. This is what I call false accountability. So I'm going to repeat that. False accountability. And what false accountability is whenever people who are doing wrong to you claim that your self-defense is wrong, and that justifies them continuing to do wrong. So it works like this. Imagine that you're some little structure standing up straight, and that pushing is wrong. Someone's pushing you. Now you're no longer straight, you're tilted. Now they try to assert that this is the way things are, but they're pushing you. So you have to push back to defend yourself, which is the only logical approach. They say, hold on, you said pushing is wrong, that makes you no different than me, and so they start pushing you again. This is a bit of the false accountability cycle. Now the truth is, pushing is wrong, but pushing in self-defense is necessary. That's the argument here. But they pretend that they don't understand that. They pretend that they don't have the logical or conceptual ability to perceive that to justify continuing to attack you. And this is how the system works. They do you wrong, and then you do what would be wrong in self-defense, which makes it no longer wrong. They ignore that they did you wrong, and then they say, hold on, I've got to do you wrong to make this even, which absolutely acknowledges this concept. They dismiss that that's what you were doing, that you were trying to understand, or whatever the fuck's going on there. They dismiss that, and now they say, now you have to make that even. But because you're still initially wronged here, you're naturally going to try to correct it, which will cause you to do something else, to which they'll say, no, I gotta make that even. And because they never allow you to really get this even, they always keep a fight going to keep themselves in some sort of state of interaction, to keep their concept going. Another thing, I just thought of it, or I thought of it earlier, but I just got reminded. Here's how those logic gates work. So let's say, someone, so let's say a woman watches one of those videos I posted the other day, and she says that based on what she perceives in the video, that I hate women, right? And she says this right before she attacks me. She cuts me. She cuts me and she says she hates women, he deserves it. She cuts me, right? Now what that does is it asserts a physiological history, which is, according to her point of view, I was cut for hating women, right? And so what happens is, because that's occurring and because they're acting on it, it becomes more of a concept. To put this as quickly as possible, because I was cut for hating women, even though that wasn't what was happening, even if I wasn't doing that, them cutting me for hating women creates consequences on my physical character that then add to the concept he was cut for hating women, therefore he must hate women. And what this does is it turns me into the concept that that's being logic gated over time, which is why I'm saying you need to kill these pedo gators, bro. That's why you need to just kill them. They're gonna act like they don't know what they're doing is wrong. They're gonna be committed to it. They're gonna be confident. Don't fall for that shit, bro. Just fucking kill them, bro. Just do that, bro. What the fuck? hate that I gotta fucking stitch this video together, but the way that the physiological cutting works. So let's say a female is attacking me, a female is pushing me, I push her back, right? All right, let's say that. And at some point, somebody can take the perspective, the logical path, he hates women, right? Or he beats women. Let's say that. Let's say they can take the logical path that he beats women. A woman was pushing me, I pushed her back, I got straightened, pushing is wrong, he pushes when he beats women, right? And so they scratch me. And at that point of me being scratched, what they do is they maintain their logic gate, and then they say that that scratch is physical evidence of that logic gate being true, because they said he beats women and then they scratched me. And because I'm scratched, it must mean without evidence, without investigation, that he beats women is true. And so what this does is they use that evidence, that physiological occurrence, to spread it to more people's perception. And the more people that believe this, the more people that accept the concept, the more that the concept becomes true as over time, because they're all choosing that logic gate of occurrence. They're all choosing that logical structure, which then makes it occur. Alright, yeah, that's all I need to say. That's really why you need to kill the pedo gators here, because that's what this shit is, bro. They're over here fucking bro, this shit is stupid, bro. And it's like, this got this controversy on it. The threat is, the more I talk about it, the more that they're just gonna fucking logic gate and make me seem like a pedophile anyway. But I'm beating it. Shit is annoying, dude. But what they do is they just keep going no matter what. They make a bunch of logic gates, and then they spread that to as many people as possible. The more people that believe the concept, the more that the concept is chosen to occur. Even as you express, no, that's not what's happening, stop, that's not what's happening, you become surrounded by them all choosing that concept. And then they start doing shit like, and this is where it really pisses me off, they start doing it like, he just won't admit it, or he's denying it on a personal level, or he psychologically blocked himself from knowing it, or some shit like that. And that's when they start trying to fucking justify pushing me into it. And that's where I killed people. That's where I fucking killed you people. That's where I did it. Understand that no matter how many times I say stuff like that I understand what happened. I was molested, and I wasn't the only one that was molested, and we all got fucked up. But we eventually got help. While we were still children, we got help. And so that's why you cannot construe me as a pedophile, because pedophilia is adults wanting to fuck children. At that point, I was just a kid investigating what was happening to me. So fuck off. Anyway, yeah, and no, I should keep going here. Nope, never mind. Alright, another thing they do is, whenever they see logically that something's occurring, whenever they see logically that something's happened, let's say it's something like, we're paying attention to the logical structure of things, and they start realizing all the ways that what they're doing is inaccurate based on all the measurements that they can make. And so what they start getting is a general idea, which is, you are wrong. The idea that they get is that you are wrong. What you're doing is wrong. What they're doing is wrong. And so they'll say something like, this isn't wrong. And that tries to block them logically knowing it. They try to create a vacuum that blocks the concept. Or let's say something like, when it comes to my success, and all this stuff, here's what I'm gonna say. It's obvious to me that the way all this is used and the way people do it, A, you guys did not just start doing this, it's been done the whole time. B, as far as I can tell, nobody has any problems today except for the people who keep trying to bring this up and use it to turn me into a pedophile as an adult. And C, I'm fucking killing people over this. I mean that shit, bro. I'm not finna fucking let you tell me I'm anything just because of something that happened to me that you niggas weren't there to fucking stop, alright? So you need to shut the fuck up. Alright, I'm living my life normal and y'all are shutting the fuck up because I'm killing people over this. I mean that. So pretty much what they do here is, something is occurring, like let's say my success, and they see that it's just logically gonna happen. And so what they do is they do a physiological pushback. And so what they do is, as it's occurring, they say something to push it back, to block it, to stall it, right? And so, logically, talented, intelligent, interesting, righteous, all the things that make success, they say, that's not happening. You see, his success is imminent. They say, that's not happening. No matter what it is, they're just saying, that's not happening. I watched somebody, as they realized what they were doing to me was cruel, choose to say specifically, because that was the word, that was what they didn't want to accept, this isn't cruel. And so what it is that yin yang shit. It's that yin yang shit. Just say the opposite concept, right? Now, yin yang is supposed to be about the balance of concept. That with good concept comes exposure to bad concept, and finding the balance of both helps you better understand how to choose the right path of thinking, right? But no, these guys just say the opposite of what's going to occur to push it back. Yeah, I mean this shit. Because that's logical structure. I put it in logical structure. I was questioning / disproving too many people. It got me molested. I wasn't the only one. I was pushed off into a group. Confused after purposely being attacked by people who wanted to make the concept through these logic gates. And then we all got helped. All this happened while I was a kid, so there is no pedophile here. You don't believe that I can be cured? Well, how the fuck could you make something like that happen then? How? How can you sit there and you say that a kid being molested doesn't fuck their head up? How can you say that? Especially if it's by somebody they look up to and there are no consequences for it happening. How can you say that that doesn't create those kind of things? So if it can be created, it sure as fuck can be stopped. And so any of you claiming that I need to be cured or that you don't believe that it's possible for me to not be doing this anymore, I'm telling you, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And I mean that. I'm serious. Because all you're doing is choosing the logic gate that fucking pushes me towards pedophilia. And that's a fucking crime. I don't care if you act like you don't think you're doing that. I don't give a fuck what you think here, nigga. I'm killing you. I mean that shit. Last thing, because I just heard it. Another thing they do is whenever they get to the logical conclusion of realizing that they're wrong and that they can't be fucking trying to turn me into a fucking pedophile and act like that's just what it was the whole time, they'll ask a question, which is another resistor. And what it is, it'll be like, we'll say, it'll logically conclude, nigga, he was just getting molested, leave him alone. And then they'll say something like, how is it possible for him not to be a pedophile? I refuse to accept that he's not a pedophile. I kill you, by the way. I want you to know that I still fucking kill you. I don't care if everybody cools you down, if everyone told you to stop. I'm killing you. You knew what you were doing. I don't give a fuck how you feel about that. And you can talk on me being a kid, nigga, but what you do there is you make every kid accountable for everything wrong they did. We don't need to raise kids no more, bitch ass nigga. I killed you. Just know that. Act stubborn. Act like you don't know. Stay committed to your fucking act. I killed you, nigga. So they'll say, how is that possible? And when they ask how it's possible, they have no intention of actually figuring out or listening to what we have to say about it. And what that does is it stalls us because we have to start all the way back from the beginning in explanation. And they know that. And so they use that to resist, to slow us down so that they can keep using their logic gates to try and make it happen anyway. And the goal with this is to use enough logic gates and to trap and surround and then push me to a trage. And trage is physiological dead end in which I have no case for survival. And then because they're the ones that push me to it and I'm surrounded by them, they say, maybe your way out of this is if you do this. Maybe the way out of this was the thing you didn't want to do the whole time. Maybe that's all life is. They start fucking getting religious and shit while you're desperate. And that's what these niggas are doing. That's why I'm killing people here. And so they do all that to try and get you to do something fucked up, or here in this case, they try to get me to participate in pedophilia because they can't kill me for the fact that I got fucking molested, and they still want to use this as a strategy to take me out as an adult. And so they fucking just try to keep making it happen so that when it does, and it never fucking will because I fucking killed you, if it won't happen. But let's say in this hypothetical, in their fucking concept of trying to get it to occur, when it happens, they can say that it doesn't matter that they were doing all this. They can say it doesn't matter that they were fucking, they're gonna erase all this, act like they don't know what any of this shit is, and they're gonna say it doesn't matter. So I'm killing people, and I fucking warned. You wanna know why people would even think to use that strategy? It's obvious. No room on these fucking paper. No room on this paper, man. So it's pretty much like this. Argument occurs. Two people are seeing the same screen. Let's just draw two little figures. Two people are seeing the same screen. They throw their concepts into the screen. A simulation of concept occurs. This person realizes that logically they're wrong. So what do they do? They try to move to a ethical concept to try and get out of the argument. They try to move to where you're a bad person. And that's how it's always been. That is a thing that you can track throughout history. That when people were wrong, they tried to say that they didn't have to respect anybody because they were bad. It is a concept. It is a thing that is obvious. They've been doing it since priests were molesting little boys, nigga. And so all this shit is, oh fuck, I'm wrong. I need him to be a bad person so that I can remove him and not deal with this. That's all it is. I'm killing people.